up? It's the Cat's Meow, also known as the Flash of the Justice League. You can find me on Instagram at the Cat's Meow Official or on YouTube at the Cat's Meow.
Hi, it's your girl Abby Reviews, aka Tatted and Fluffy, aka that bitch with the beat face, telling you to find me on YouTube for all your makeup needs.
Hello, everybody. I'm Terrence, better known as the Black Superman of the Just Us League, and you can catch me on Giving You the Real Tea at YouTube.
What up, what up, what up, what up, what up? It's me, El Teddy 27. I am Iceman. Why? Because I'm cold as ice. I don't throw shade, I send darkness because you can get from under shade, but you can't get from under darkness. Catch me on YouTube at El Teddy 27 Official. Also on Instagram at El Teddy 27 Official and on Twitter at El Teddy 27. I'm out. What's good?
What up, everybody? This is Really BTV, also known as Wonder Woman of the Justice League. You can catch me here on YouTube at Really BTV.
This be your boy Scotty by Nature TV, also known as Batman of Justice League. I'm here for all your reality show needs and gossip news. If you want all of that, find me on YouTube at Scotty by Nature TV.
Welcome to the House of Justice, where truth is served, presented by YB Entertainment TV. My supporters are called the jury, and I am the judge and executioner, honey, and my rulings are absolute and final. Yes, God.
And
we
are
the
Just
Us
League.
My new album, Enigma, is out now. Go to your digital music store, Pandora, Spotify, everywhere, and jam my new album right now.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to a Justice League interview, honey. Yes, God, honey. That's right. We are here. We're trying to be everywhere, so please make sure to like, comment, subscribe, and share because we all know that sharing is caring. Oh, girl, my breath. Maybe lose my breath. Breath, can you keep up? Oh, girl. Yeah, all the pleasantries are out of the way. Introducing my wonderful panel, honey. Every Reviews is in the building, bitch.
Hello,
What's tea?
baby.
Yes, honey.
Live.
I apologize.
It's you fine. It's Monday, Alyssa.
I hear you.
Bless the Lord. Where everybody else?
The Wonder Woman, Really BTV, is with us today. Hello, honey. How are you?
Hey, everybody. Hi.
Hello.
I'm on Black People Time, child. I apologize.
Well, it's all good. I mean, I just didn't know how long because I was like, well, maybe I can get a review in real quick.
You doing a lot. That's a lot.
I mean, I'm doing what I do. Doing what I do.
Well, I appreciate you being here.
No problem. No problem.
Also introducing another member of the Justice League, the Cat's Meow, honey.
Hey, boo.
Hey!
How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
Are you looking Chinese?
the disrespect. What the hell?
That just came out of left field. What in the world?
The disrespect you gave. Jesus Christ.
It wasn't enough, but it's okay. I'm feeling really Asian and Harajuku today, bitch.
Hey,
We are Siamese, if you please.
Hey, everybody that's here. Thank you guys for joining us. I see all of our riders in the chat. What's up, everybody?
Hey, guys, and I apologize for the lateness.
Thank you, Tiffany Nicole. I'll drop the link so where I got it from.
What's good? And we're just waiting on our special guest to arrive shortly here. I guess while we're here, child, what y'all think about that last episode? Actually, hold on, he's here now, so we'll get into it while he's here.
Okay.
Yes, God, honey. I'm introducing our special guest for this evening, honey. Without further ado, Chasing Reality, Chasing Dallas, EP, showrunner, show creator, honey, author, all of those great.
All of the things.
All of the things, amen. Ressie G, not Cardi B, but still getting to the money. Yes, God.
Right, you gotta get the roll in there. You gotta get the roll in there.
Hello.
Hey.
Hey,
Hey, y'all.
How are you?
I am peachy,
We're
wonderful, great, and
good.
awesome. How y'all doing?
Good. You looking kind of
Good.
scrumptious down there, Reese. You giving me
Yes.
boo. You giving me
Very serving all the things.
Yes.
Stop
Work,
it.
honey.
Stop it.
Right.
Stop it.
Yes.
And the category is mug, bitch.
Okay.
Yes.
Come
Category
on.
is face,
You better
honey.
give it face.
Yes.
Hey,
Yes.
honey.
Okay.
It's good to have you with us. We really appreciate you.
Thank you. Thank you. You know I love y'all. I love y'all to
We
death.
love you too, T. We love you
Yeah,
too,
we
T.
do. We do.
We had to get you in here. I know we're only about to go into episode 3, but it's only right that we have you here because we're already starting off this show with a bang. But before we even get there, I know you briefly spoke about it on the show, but can you go through your process for the retreat?
Sure can. Well, for the retreat. So I had a thought one day. I was like, season season 2 was a bitch. So I was like, you know what? I want to get away. I had been going through some stuff, and I was like, I want to get away. And so I was like, let me make a Facebook post because y'all know my outlet is Facebook, any social media. And so
Oh,
I
we
made a
know.
Facebook. Okay.
Yeah, you're
And so
always tuned into the lives.
and so I was like, you know what? Let me make a post and just tag Ariel, see girl, whatever, just to be, that girl. And then so I made the post, and then Trey Howard ended up chiming in, and I was like, well, maybe we can, just invite everybody to go that I'm cool with it. And then I was like, well, EP Reese started coming in, and he was like, well, bitch, why don't you make this a whole show? Why don't you make this
Mm-hmm.
a situation where you can really try and give the people what they want, which is humanizing everybody that everybody had said they didn't get to know, and then best yourself on season 3. But right now, let's see who all is interested from the season 2 cast, from the season 1 cast, and then mix in some new people and see who you can get to go in one house and sit and talk and, you know, get some things addressed and get better before we go into season 3. Because I just didn't want to be, in the words of Nene Lee, showing up to work and hogging all the time.
Right,
So,
right.
so that's where honestly the idea came for the retreat. I was just like, major networks do it, but let's put a spin on it. Let's bring an astrologer there so he can break us down with our signs, because everybody always saying, "What's your sign, girl?"
Right, right.
And let's see what could happen. And
So as far as the cast, was that everybody that said yes, or was that everybody that was chosen?
when you say yes from like season 1, season 2, and all that,
No, everybody that was asked, like everybody that was interested. Is that everybody that was interested? Everybody that we see, is that everybody who was interested in coming, or is that everybody who you just chose to come?
Or
that's
did you
everybody
find somebody
that
on the side of the road and said, "Oh, you might work," and you just picked them up and dropped them in? Because we don't
They was
know
working
that.
at the Rich Carlton. That's where he found them down there.
Girl,
That young man don't sizzle right in my spirit. I'm gonna just tell you now.
well, I'm gonna
Just
say, I will say to address your question. Okay. So what happened was I did a public casting. I hate doing public castings because it's an influx, but we did a public casting. Me and Cameron, one of my producers, we went through the casting process for like, I would say a month and a half, 2 months. And then we narrowed, it was like 65 people that had applied, right? Sent
okay.
in videos and all of that. And so we trimmed it down to 20, I think like 22 people. And then we did Zoom interviews with everybody because, pandemic, blah, blah, blah. And so we did that. And then we trimmed that down to about 8. And then we had invited them all to do one-on-ones with me and Cameron. And from that came Eric James and Dre Simber. We liked them at the time of casting. And then as far as the season 1 cast, I had reached out to Aubrey. I reached out to Tony Price, and I reached out
Mm.
to B King to come and be a part. Season 2 cast, I reached out to Ariel Dior. Well, actually, not Dior. I didn't reach out to Dior because he was working on another project, and we had unfinished business. But I reached out to Ariel, Trey Howard. I reached out to George, Trey Womack, to come and be a part. And then we settled on the fabulous six that you see on Chasing Dollars Presents Retreat.
So you did reach out to Womack.
I did, yes. Hmm.
So why did we see that energy come from you when he was being brought up 2 weeks before?
Well, with me and him, we had a lot of personal dealings.
Okay.
And at the time, he had declined from being a part of the retreat because of where we were personally. And he didn't know, his words, not mine, he didn't know how he was going to react because I have a way with words. He said he didn't know if there was going to be a fight if we were all in this house together. And
Oh,
so I
that.
was like, I told him, I said, I would never fight somebody that I love. And so we sat down, so he declined at the time. And then right thereafter, we had before he declined, there was this Facebook war that we had, and it was very rocky us personally, and he attributed that to me being so open with the public, so open with my followers and supporters like y'all. And so my thing is, when I had tough times, my followers, fans, viewers, whatever you want to call it, like between Ebby and Really B, y'all already know. And so that was my outlet. And so he had declined, and he also had declined from coming back to season 3. And so I said, okay, well, since we
Good.
don't have any business dealings, any
I'm sorry that came. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Mm.
I'm gonna put myself
I
on
said to
mute.
myself, I said, okay, well, since we don't have any business dealings, now we can go ahead and just talk about the personal so we can be in these rooms together because we move around the same circuits. You're popular in your own right. I'm popular in my own right. So we're going to be around each other. So let's have a conversation about the personal. And so that night at the ball was literally maybe 2 or 3 days after he had declined from coming to the retreat. But mind you, I keep everything private. What I put out publicly is what I put out publicly. But he had said he wasn't going to be a part of the retreat. But then I don't know who there were some. I had added 2 people to the team, and they were being messy, and they was wanting to see a reaction out of me.
Okay.
Needless to say, those 2 girls are no longer apart. I shortly fired them the next week because what you're not going to do is you're not going to play on my feelings, and you're not
Hmm.
going to involve somebody in it that you're not going to do that. And so I let them, go on about their business, and they were one of the people that were actually filming at that moment, which is why I was so pissed. And then also the cast, not including Ariel, because I mean she knows, but they kept asking, so what's going on with y'all? What's happening? Like what? So y'all was fucking, y'all was, but y'all was fucking. What? And that particular night, I was like, it was so irritating because every single moment his name was being brought up, and then he actually ended up showing up to the event. So it was just
Ooh.
like it was so many things that night. And that night, he showed up at the event, and I wasn't ready to speak to him yet. Even though us personally had ended in February, this was like maybe this was maybe 5 or 6 months, 5 months afterwards.
Hmm.
And I honestly, because of where we were at, I didn't know how to deal with him publicly, to be honest. And so when I have it out with somebody, I really just don't see them. And if I don't know how I'm gonna react, then I don't know how I'm gonna react. And on top of it, we just had this
Yeah. Yeah.
public public battle, so to speak. And so um yeah, when his name kept getting brought up, it was like, can y'all let bitch get over this nigga? Can y'all let me do my thing? Let him do his
Yeah.
thing because he's in or was in a whole new situation, happy, and I'm just like, okay, let me do my thing and let me do me. But
So
And
I
sometimes
don't
we just
want
want to
to
be
mess.
clear of that person. Go ahead, really be.
that's what I was gonna say. So just to clear it all up, you and Trey Womack dated. Y'all was in an entanglement. Y'all dated. Whatever. Have okay. I just want to be clear that that's what it was. Okay. Okay.
Mhm.
And sometimes when it's
And it
over,
was,
you just want to be free of that person and be clear of
Yeah.
that person for a while,
Absolutely.
just to regroup and get back to you. And
Yeah.
it
yeah,
wasn't
most
fair
definitely.
that they kept bringing
And
it
my
up.
thing is, I don't like wearing the scarlet letter of an ex. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
Like that's not
yeah.
that's not a thing for me, which is why I never really. The longest I dated somebody back home was like maybe 3 or 4 months. But out here, I mean, we talked for 10. So, and I try my best to keep it as private as possible. And his people knew, and his people were rooting for us, but it just wasn't. It just wasn't what it was. I
Do
think that
you
he is.
think
Okay,
the
you said his
show?
people knew. Did your people know? Did you introduce him to like any of your people, like your mama? Did your mama know or anything?
My mom. I told my mom about him. I sent my mom a picture of him, and she was like, "Okay, well, how long this one gonna last?" Because
Oh,
she wanted to
well,
know.
That's a mama for you.
because listen,
That's a
that's a
mama for
litmus
you.
test on whether or not it's real. Because if you don't meet my mama, then it's like it never happened. I
Right.
plausible
Do you think the show
deniability.
played a part? Do you think the show played a part in any way in y'all's end?
In 2 parts, yes and no. I
Okay.
think he had told me one time because I asked him. I said because we were doing green screens and he had came to do his, and I was doing mine. And I had asked him when everybody had left and we were walking out. I always walked him to his car. And I asked him, I said, you was a part of the show. When you came into the studio tonight, what would you have done? And he was like, I mean, if I was a part of the show, I just would have came up, kissed you, and just supported doing whatever you was doing. Like, oh, okay. But do I think that the show was a huge factor? No, because it's still us personally. He got
Yeah.
to know me. I got to know him. He knew me, and I knew him, and so it's more so, as he put it, because we did actually have a sit down where he signed a contract for the retreat, and so
Oh, okay.
how he
Okay.
put it was that it wasn't about us. It was about him and him finding more of him. It was more a him thing. So
So I
And
just
how did you feel about that, though? Sorry, Bobby.
no, you're good.
mm, I look at it like this. It definitely was a lot to get over somebody because I had never
Yeah.
invested that much time in a person. Um, but I will say he is a great man. I think that we all have growing to do. We have to work on ourselves, and I would do nothing but wish him the best. And I pray for him each and every day. And yeah, I recently I had a conversation with him. I was like, "Hey, listen, I know you didn't go on a retreat, but I talked about you on the retreat. It's gonna air, so if you want to come to season 3 and speak on some things that you watch, you are more than welcome to do so." Granted, that conversation led more into personal and the why again, but I mean, at this point, I mean, I know his friends and gay family members, and they like me, and we all know each other. So it's like, it's kind of
Have
like
you
that
had a
thing.
chance? Have you had a chance to meet all of his wigs?
Bitch.
I can, I just, I can
God damn it.
just, because I just had to throw that in there real quick because I just that meeting because you come with a lot of wigs, he comes with a lot of wigs. I just want to know like what that process was like. Like, did they get along? Did
Um,
your wigs get along with
I
his
Did
listen.
you
wigs?
say do they get along?
I would say, listen. I think that I
Oh my
mean, to
gosh.
me, it took me a minute to like his look was different from guys that I had dated before. So when I got attracted to him in that way, I liked his hair. You know, when he told,
I
we had
didn't
a
even know it was a
conversation.
wig till the fight. I didn't know until the
Yeah,
fight.
nobody knew. Nobody
I'm
really
being
knew
honest. I didn't know.
until
That's
it
Yeah,
flew
I mean,
that's
across the
normally
screen. Nobody knew
how
what
it
it was.
works. That's normally
his
how it works.
barber, his bar- his
I thought it
barber
was
was
Oh,
fake.
great.
nobody had a clue until we seen it flying across the screen.
um, but I personally, when we had a conversation. We had about a week. I want to say we had like a week long conversation about him going bald and him like just wearing a bald head. And I said, well, if it's gonna make you feel comfortable, I mean, I'm gonna like it regardless. So I mean, I think you should do it. And then when he did do, I don't know if y'all can recall the green screen he did when he was bald last season. I
Yeah.
think he looked, I think he looked great. And it's cheaper to be bald.
It
I mean, you
is.
know,
A lot
I was,
cheaper. Right.
Some people say it
mhm.
costs upwards of $500 to get them units.
It
Yes.
I
does.
remember I was actually we got into an argument one time because he needed to get his hair done and I was gonna pay for it. It was like $160. I was like, okay, whatever, let's go ahead and do it. But then it was more to it. But
Mm-mm.
you know, I mean, I think he looked good bald.
Ciao.
I think he looked good bald. I think
He
he
must
looked good with the
be.
hair. I mean,
For
either
you to be
way.
dropping off $160 like that, he must have been.
You know what? So
What
let's
does
get
it?
back
What does that mean?
to let's get back to your process on how you got these people down to the beach house.
Wait, before we go, no, no, catch me out. No, we never had sex. We never had
Oh,
sex. Throughout the time that we had known each other, we never had sex. We talked
I'm
about
so
it.
You
sorry.
know
I
why,
am
right? You know
listen,
why, right?
I am gonna deep
Why,
read
You know
B?
this
why,
evening
right?
to try and figure out what did
Because
he
let
do
me
to get a
tell
man
y'all
to pay for
something.
his hair without fucking. Let's
Okay, that's what I
I
need
know
to
why.
Not
know.
without you said 10 months, girl. I'm not
I
going
know
10
why y'all didn't have sex
weeks.
because in his room, hallelujah, bitch, all of his wigs are coming to life, jealous as fuck,
Here we
about
go.
rants on you for touching their man. Girl, you better be careful. You better be careful. I heard they get
yes,
paper cuts,
that's
child.
not what we're gonna do. Okay,
Okay, sorry,
so
Lord. I
we
apologize.
go, we go, we
So,
go, we go skip over
That's
Trey
why he ain't never
Womack
come to talk to us. You know he's the only person
okay.
you know he's
and
the only person from season 2
So,
that didn't
okay.
answer
Okay.
the
Okay.
No,
Y'all, we
no.
got to really damn be professional. So, going into this, not only for yourself, what did you want the entire group to gain as a unit?
I wanted to take a moment to really humanize these people. I wanted to show just kind of a glimpse of who we are, and I didn't expect for me to be the one crying on the first day, but it was more so about let's take a drive because you know it was the Boulevard Peninsula is about 5 hours away from Dallas. So I was like,
Mm-hmm.
let's get away. During the casting process, of course, it was about do y'all really need to like what's been going on with you that would constitute a trip? And so everybody had expressed what had been going on. And then so we was like, okay, well, we all finna be in this house with each other. Ariel wanted me and Dior to mend before we went. And so
Mm-hmm.
that particular scene she thought of, she wanted to bring her sister, me, her brother together because she didn't want to be in the middle, which I respected and I was open to it. And
Yeah.
we all just got away. And I was like, well, let this be our moment of trying to heal and grow or not. So that was really
Let's talk about that scene where you did blow up because at first I saw both Ressie, the executive producer, and Ressie, the cast member, in that moment. Because when you first was like, okay, I was thinking you was like, okay, y'all wasting time. Like, get serious. Like, we're here to shoot a scene. But then I saw you breaking down and coming undone, and I was like, wait a minute, like. You really felt affected because you weren't getting the healing that you felt you were due from this session. So
I
how
mean,
walk me through what was going through your head in that moment? Like what built you up to that pop off at December?
well, it was for me. I was honestly irritated by everybody in the room because we had just got there. We all were drunk and tipsy. This man done came down, and he's giving us this exercise, and I really wanted to learn something. Like I really,
Yeah.
really wanted to learn because my biggest thing going back home to Dallas, I did not want to be like I've been working on myself. So I did not want to go back and just not let this go, this opportunity pass me by without having this person that helps us see ourselves honestly. And he didn't know us all from a can of paint. His only requirement actually coming to the retreat that he wanted to know about us was our birthday, our birth time, and our zodiac sign. That's all he had. And then you guys will actually see in some of the readings later on coming up. But I just what pissed me off the most is I know, and I was kind of insensitive. I apologize, but I was just like, for me, it was like, come on, y'all. Like, can we fucking focus? Like, can we just really just have this moment where we can take with this man? Because it's obvious y'all don't believe in this shit. Y'all don't believe in chakras. He got this music playing. Y'all don't care about it. Y'all just want to relax and have a little mini vacay, and I get all that. But like, at least let's treat this man with some type of respect and just, let's learn something in this moment. And at that point, everybody had me kind of kikiing, joking around, and then Dre Simmer was the last person to say something. So it wasn't necessarily at him. It was just like everybody had been saying the shit. And so now I'm like, girl, goddamn, can we
Right.
just
Yeah, we was just like the icing on the cake.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I get it.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so let me ask you this. What made you choose Mr. Resilient as opposed to somebody like a licensed therapist? Because clearly some of y'all need a licensed therapist, but what made you choose? Y'all act like y'all know these people don't need to sit on
We
somebody.
all need licensed therapists. It's 2021.
I'm just saying. Some
Our
of us need
need
coping skills.
licensed therapists.
So what made you choose getting their chakras aligned versus getting some coping skills so they know how to act in polite company?
I believe that with me going through therapy and counseling, I think that it's definitely needed for some, but for me, it was kind of more so of this is what I think you need to do. This is an exercise to get yourself better. And with Resilient Titan, he has exercises that just show you more of you to release you to your own devices and help you fix yourself. And then if you can't fix yourself, then go look for something else. With me, did a reading with him. I want to say maybe like a year or so ago, and it really was to kind of be with somebody that don't know you like that. Like it was very enlightening that he was saying to me, if you do this, it's gonna take you this way just because of who you are and what the universe is seeing, and because of this particular sign and this and that. And if you do this, it's gonna go that way. And so for me, I thought that he was a good choice because one, it was different. So of course, I think that people can relate to your star signs and your zodiacs, but and then he was easy on the eyes too, child. So I was like, why not?
He's nice looking now. He is that. He is nice looking.
Mm-hmm. You got nice shape on.
Really, people trying to get her a piece, girl.
Mm-hmm.
She was about to beat me up for Robert. She got in my comments and said we was gonna fight.
Who did?
Really be behind Robert. My eye is black right now. I got concealer, or it's a ring around my damn eye right now.
Over Robert Ray?
Over Robert Ray.
Oh no, we're gonna fight over Robert Ray. Oh yeah.
Robert Ray ain't even on the damn.
Me and Kat, we fighting over Robert Ray. Yeah. Uh-huh.
My ass is as good as whooped. And y'all
would definitely be seeing more of Robert Ray. Y'all would be seeing
Let me tell you how much I love Robert Ray. Listen, I ain't even met him yet, and
I just saw his live on Instagram, and that was enough for me because he said I could really come to your house. Cause I said that's it right there.
Right.
That's it right there.
That pull up
I identified with him on a spiritual level, on a molecular. I would come to your house and whoop your ass, bitch. Watch your motherfucking mouth.
As it relates to Robert Ray, what's his name? Robert Ray?
His name is
Robert Ray.
Robert. Please put some respect on that man's name. His name is
Robert
Robert
Ray.
And he ain't gonna say it no more.
Bitch.
My pussy just got wet, honey.
Ooh.
I love a man with some goals, honey. You know I'm from the South, girl, so goals is yes, this sends me up, honey. Especially for sweat.
Really mean you gonna beat his ass?
Huh?
Oh yeah. Mm-hmm. Oh, I'm waiting for YB. I'm waiting for YB.
I will use my laser beam and I will use my frost breath on y'all ass, honey. Okay.
Not laser beams. Okay.
Buddha is somewhere watching. I know. I'm sure.
I was getting ready to say you done already.
You already got a husband. Like I don't understand.
You already got a husband, so I'm gonna need you to go sit down somewhere.
So the backstory behind Robert is
Mhm.
he's not in the retreat. Now the T was that he was locked up, or is that just allegedly? Like, what was that situation like?
Girl.
And then going into your choice for him, and like, where did you find Eric James at?
He applied.
He
He put an
applied.
application.
Listen, okay, so now we finna get to
The
now we
minutiae.
finna
Get
to
into it.
okay.
Come on.
Get into the minutiae. Let's get into the minutiae.
Robert Ray. So we during the casting process, me and CJ, y'all familiar with who CJ is? He's my producer. That's my
Right.
we were trying to find another person. And so Robert Ray popped up on Facebook, and then I did my research around the city about who he was. Come to find out, Ariel knew him, and Dior knew him, and I was like, okay, well, this may be good to bring him around. Then I started digging a little more. I was like, okay, so he the trade, cool. Then I started digging a little bit more. He's a cosmetologist, cool. Okay, then I started digging a little bit more. Oh, he do hair and he do nails, everything. So I had a conversation with him, and I got my life. And then he had 2 children. I live. And 2 girls to be exact. He has 2 daughters. And
He put it on his daughters that he was gonna whoop Dre Summer ass.
He did. He did.
and so with him,
love
with
it.
Robert, to be very, 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 very clear, Eric James is a liar. Eric James is a son of a bitch. Eric James is garbage. Eric James is messy. Eric James has problems, okay? Because any person that would go on anybody's interview and say that this man had been incarcerated and that's why he didn't come to the retreat literally just want his ass whooped, okay? And then on top of that, to say that he had said that he had been in jail for 10 years, wants his ass whooped again. Because Robert has never even been to jail, ever. Robert has never been to jail. I don't even believe, because I asked him, he ain't never been pulled over for speeding. So to say that and you didn't know this man, and then y'all will see some things coming up on season 3. It's like Eric is the epitome of the person that will throw a megabus at the smallest of glass house and try and hide his hand because he don't keep the same energy. And the reason why I'm saying all of this is because he tried me on a level that you don't play with. You don't talk about my mama. You don't come at me about my mama at all. And that my mama she's my best friend. That's the last parent I have left. And you don't do that. You don't do that. And because I have things and a lot to lose, I have to be particular in how, because I want to touch her right now. I really do. I got a little tipsy yesterday at the club, and I told everybody if she comes to this club, I'm going to wear her out. But luckily, God was on her side, and he did not show up. But he was at the club next door, and I'm glad I didn't go to that club.
Wow.
And the Lord be knowing.
And with Donnie. And like even with how Eric came about, I met Eric at a hotel. I was checking in. It was when my mom got sick and I was traveling back and forth. I had just got laid off. Y'all remember that time for me? I was back and forth because she had the stroke. And so at the time I was talking to a guy, and he had to go to work, but he was checking me in. And so Eric was the front desk. I don't know if he was the manager at the time, or he was just a front desk person. And so I was checking in, and he was just like, "Oh my God, Reese, I live for you. You're so cool. I love the show and all of this." I was like, "Oh, okay, thank you, baby. I appreciate you. You know, all of that." Went up to
I ain't even
my
gonna
room,
say
all
it.
down.
I'm gonna let it go. I ain't even gonna say it, y'all. I'm gonna let it go.
It was not the Rich Carlton.
I'm not gonna say it.
Hush.
I'm gonna let it go. I was gonna let it go.
It was at the what was it? The Crown. What was it? Crown Plaza? Crown
Plaza.
Okay, Crown Plaza.
Plaza. It was a Crown Plaza, and so so then I was going out that night with another guy I was talking to, and I was like, I know I need extra towels when I take this makeup off, so hey, can I get some more towels? And he was like, yeah, I'll bring them up personally. I said, okay. So he brought them up, and he tried to stay, and I said, well, no, you can't stay because I got a friend coming, so you can't stay, sis.
Ooh.
And then he actually was flirting with the guy that I was dealing with at the time too. Paid it. After that, me and the guy no longer talked. Me and Eric stayed in contact over social media. To the point where the only time we had a face-to-face conversation was on Facebook, video chat, whatever you want to call it.
Okay.
And then when we had the auditions, he auditioned, and I was like, "Oh, I know this dude." And then I was like, "Okay, well, he just launching his candles and the room stuff. Anybody can do it. If y'all want the link to do it, I can send y'all the link to do it." He just launched it. Great. So I was like, you know what? Let me go ahead and give him some help because I know him. He cool, even though he was doing some shady shit when I was talking to Trey. It's fine. It's cool. But I was like, you know what? Let's put that aside. This is business. So I brought him on, and I swear to you guys, I never thought that he would be this person. Like I had never thought that he would be this messy, nasty cloud chaser. It's really blowing me away.
Because honestly, the way you were telling me that, oh my God, I'm such a fan, I'll bring him up personally, that was giving me thirsty cloud chaser tease initially.
I mean, it was like, I mean, I look at it as just a compliment at this point. I'm
Yeah,
like, okay, thank you. Cool.
Because you are recognizing the face.
Yeah, I mean, you know, it's like that's how you know me. Then cool, that's how you know me. But then if you want to hang out afterwards, we can go get a drink. Let's turn up, whatever, you know. Because I don't really try to judge people off of that. And he never came off as a fan or a clout chaser then, because I used to flirt with him. No shade. I used to flirt with him because I mean, as a single man, he told me that the reason why he couldn't date me at the time was because, and mind you, this was no show stuff. This is nothing. He was like, because he needs to be able to take a gentleman home to his parents, is what he said. Cool. So now
what
made you
rewind? Wait, rewind.
What makes you not?
I missed something in the equation. He said he couldn't date you because he needed to take a gentleman home to his parents.
So what are you? Are you not a gentleman?
That's what he said. Well, makeup doesn't make you a gentleman. Getting your nails done doesn't make you a gentleman.
So he's one of those. Okay.
So
okay, he's that girl we thought he was. Okay.
And then as we continue to get to know each other, you know, every now and then, you know, it still was in the back of my head, and I was just like, so this the dude that you talking to, and so he bought you a meal at Perry's. He bought you a steak at Perry's, and that's what.
Not Perry's. He couldn't even do Five Water Child. He had to do Perry's.
What's Perry's?
It's a steakhouse. It's like Outback, girl. It's like a luxury Outback, girl. It's not even.
Yeah, it's kind of like Ruth Chris.
It's
very like
Morton's.
You know, $40 a plate.
Very Morton's. You know, very Morton's. Very $40.
Very Morton's. Yeah.
Okay.
And so, you know, with me, you know, I don't care about, you know, rejection or anything like that. But it's just like, if you're saying that I'm not a gentleman when I know people that could say otherwise, show me what that is. And I mean, if you wooed by a motherfucking bracelet from Swarovski that only costs $170, when if I'm with a man, I can go to Tiffany and get him something. I'll stay in my
But
non-gentleman ways.
I guess, but I don't listen.
Because it really don't. And I feel like
I'm moved by different things.
This
Okay.
is
Okay,
my
okay.
thing. This is my thing with Eric James, and I noticed it with the second episode. And it was very telling. In the process of trying to kiki and throw Dre Simber under the bus, he didn't expect that turn and twist on his motherfucking ass. And then as we see this whole episode played out so beautifully to just put him in that hot seat, and it's just like, sorry, girl, like you talking about don't talk about people who ain't here, but look what you've been doing the whole time. The hypocrisy of it all is very real, and us as viewers, we can see that plainly. So don't get mad when people start jumping down your throat, because like that's what I like to call raggedy bitch behavior.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's not right and it's not okay. I don't care what Whitney said.
And then when he got turned up, he ran. He got up and
that's what he has continued to do. Because spoiler alert, there's an event where Dior and Ariel and myself had told Robert what had been said on the retreat. And so Robert came to an event and Robert addressed him. And then he backpedaled like a motherfucker. Like I had never in my life. He had so much motherfucking pedals on the back. Like, girl, when I said 15,000 bicycles could not equal up to how much backpedaling this motherfucker was doing. And I gagged. And then now you being a thumb thug. And it's like, don't be a thumb thug, because see, what you don't want to do is what you had tried. And what she had tried with me, y'all will see it. I had to remain calm because I was like, I'm at somebody's event that I'm not on good terms with, so I'm not going to be the one to turn up at this event. Not going to do it. But just know, when she made the mom comment at the event, and then she made the mom comment on social media, and then she made the mom comment maybe 2 or 3 weeks ago on Instagram. I'm like, okay, so you just really either willfully dense, a glutton for potential punishment, or just a dumbass hoe. So I'm gonna take the third with the dumbass hoe and have to teach you, because one thing about Robert got people in this city that have supported him for years. And you got people like Kennedy Davenport that's like, who is this little bitch talking shit?
Oh, I love her.
Oh,
You got
I love her.
and this goes the same for Dre Simber. And I had to talk to my friend and say, hey, listen. You got Akira Davenport. Like, do I have to pull up from Houston for the sake of Robert Ray?
Oh.
You have his brother, Gorgeous Gucci. Okay, who is this? I'm finna pop him. You know, we got those people that are in support of him that are like, all you gotta do is say go. And so now it's like with Dre Simmer, because that's a friend and a friendship I'm building. I was like, you know what? I think you need to either apologize or speak your piece or do something, because you do have a problem with alcohol and you were drunk when you were saying all this stuff. So you need to do something. But with Eric, I don't give a damn.
And I want to say about Eric real quick. I want to pay special nod. I said this in my review, and I'm not taking this from what Trey Howard said or what anybody else said. It does seem as if he's calculated with his reads, because that remark that he said about Dre Simber selling himself to give his mom $2 or some shit, that was a wrongfully placed read, and it goes to show it tells me that it was potentially written down and he didn't want to waste it, so he decided to use it, even though it didn't make sense in the moment. Do you also agree that his reads may be written down, pre-thought of?
That's yes. That means yes.
Let me get my.
let me
What I will
translate for
say,
you. In Reese, that means yes. First of
what I
all, I
will
knew it was an
say,
issue when you I saw the read bubbling up in your spirit at that table. You was like, I'm not gonna mess with this boy, and then you was like, I got time, and then you flipped your head around and you was like, let me tell you why it wasn't a read, and that baby got up and ran from the table because he knew you was about to read him for his entire
Mm-hmm.
existence.
and just so y'all know, that edit where me and Ariel looked at each other was no time lapse. It was no pause. Like we literally looked at each other like, bitch, what? Like I was
Well, can
Exactly.
I be
like,
clear and say that
Cause for
Ariel
him, that's smart. Oh, go ahead, boo.
gave me my whole life in
All
this?
that.
Yes.
Listen,
Yes, he
Yeah.
did.
Child, when she hit him with the, we'll call Robert Ray. Get him on the phone. No,
She
did you
kept,
get him? Aaron,
y'all was acting like y'all didn't hear
I said,
this.
ooh.
She kept saying, call him. Call. Who got his number? Where our phones at? Call him. She was ready. But yeah, that moment was a turning moment for me in the show too. For him to turn on you, the heat was turned on him, and he was like, "And Reese, for you tonight." I'm like, Reese. I even said it in my review. Reese ain't got shit to do with this.
right?
Nothing.
Reese
You
was
know
eating
what
his
really?
rice and
We
his
don't even
eggs.
know you, sir.
He was eating his
She
rice.
doesn't even go to this school.
You know what took me with that particular scene when you called him out about the nasty things that you heard him say about you because you couldn't attend his event. He not once acknowledged it, but while you were running down to him those reasons, he was in a way acknowledging it without even apologizing. The narcissism of it
so
all is real.
let's be very, 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 very clear, right? The reason why, because I don't even think that he was upset that I didn't come. I think that he was upset that we didn't film because I was working on another production the night before, and my CJ, he was we got done. We were about to go out to a club, and so CJ had parked because I live downtown, so it's kind of hard to get parking now since I live here. And so he had parked at a parking ride, and then he'll ride the train over to my house, up to my building. And so he was like, "Well, Reese, I know we're gonna go to the club. I'm gonna just drive." And I was like, "No, you're not gonna drive. You've been drinking. It'll be just your luck, you know. 'Cause I treat him like a little brother now." And I was like, "No, let me go pee." And then let me come to clothes, and then I'll go to the club with you since I don't really feel like going, but I'll go with you, child. So I had drove him to his car, but then we left the keys he left the keys at my house in his camera bag. And so we came back to the house, he got his camera bag, and then he took it upon himself. I was getting dressed to leave my apartment, go downstairs, and make his way to the train to get to the parking lot. During that time, it was all of not even 10 minutes. CJ had got jumped and robbed.
Oh my God.
Like a block away from my apartment, to the
Oh my
point where
god.
his hand was broken.
Oh no.
Oh wow.
Like his whole like if you look at CJ's hand right here, it's a he has like it healed. Like we didn't go to the hospital that night because I was like, it was a lot. It was a lot that was happening. So I just because I didn't think it was broken or anything like that. I just think he was cut or something. But like his pinky finger is crooked. He has to move his hands like this now, and he had gotten jumped. So, and how I found out about it was I was like, well, I don't see him. So I got in my truck, pulled out my parking deck, went up the street, hit a turn, and then I'm looking up the street, and I'm like, child, who is this? Like, there's somebody going in up the street, and they were just going in, going in. I was like, what the fuck is going on? So I, being nosy, thank God for being nosy, I rode up the street, and it was two security guards, and it was CJ, and he was covered in blood.
Oh my God.
Covered.
Oh my
Because
god.
he was fucked up. And I was like,
Ugh.
what happened? And so I got him in the car, and then he was so drunk, he was just like traumatized, and I think he kind of had like a mini nervous breakdown because it was just terrifying to him. And then when I was pulling back around to my parking deck, I'm coming around the corner because my parking spot is at the bottom, and it's like three levels, so you got to kind of go down. And as I was hitting the corner, he jumps out my truck. literally jumped out the
Oh my
truck,
god.
ran away. And I searched for him for about 45 minutes. And I finally found him. I got him to my apartment, and like he tried to jump out again, and I had to just like, no, do not get out of the car. And I put him in the shower. I put him in the bed, and I didn't sleep. Mind you, this is like 4 or 5 o'clock in the morning. And so, because the pop up shop wasn't really that important to one film, and two, I'm like, girl, you just got this. You just got this counter line. You're gonna have about 25,000 more if you really serious about this. So I was like, let me take care of him. I need to call his mom because he's not from here. He lives here and he has a aunt that's here, but his mom is back in Tulsa, Oklahoma. So I'm like, I need to tell his mom about what's going on. I need to make sure his Aunt Didi know what's going on. I need to make sure that everybody knows what's the tea
Right, you
with
had other stuff
him.
to take care of.
Right. And then because me and Trey Howard are now close, and I would consider Trey Howard to be like a little brother to me now because we have had those moments and conversations. Like, I really was like, I called Trey Howard just to check in, and he was just like, "Hey, girl, well, I just want to let you know that Eric called me, and girl, he was laying you out." And I was like, "For what?" Talking about how it's fucked up that you was more focused on the production than coming to his filming, and how you a bad person, and what they been saying about you has been right. You're this and you're that. And I was like, well, damn. And
Yikes.
then I would say maybe because me and Eric don't talk on a daily basis, so we wouldn't have time to address it. And for me, it was like, we ain't that cool. No way. I know you're gonna be a part of the retreat, girl. Whatever. I don't really care.
Hmm.
And so when we get to the retreat, and I bring it up because I'm like, the reason why I brought it up was not to read him, not tell him about himself, but it was like, girl, you just did to me what you're doing to Robert. That's what's happening. So you need to see that, sis, but you can't see it because your ass is so heavy that it's weighing down your attention span, knowledge, and comprehension. Like, girl, you're the.
Not your ass is so heavy, dog.
I felt that way. Like you were in that event at the ball. You were talking about someone you've never met before. You haven't shook their hand. You haven't shared the same air as
Yeah.
them. Anything like that. You had so much energy and fever for Robert. Where was that energy in that moment? Like, and it just goes. And I hate to say it again. We're just judging what we're seeing here. There'd be room to have a conversation with him later at a different time. But I don't think my mind is going to change on this because it's plainly there's no innuendo, there's no secret cryptic code that you need to see what it is that we've been seeing with this young man. And it sucks because this was your opportunity. Impressions are everything. And this is the first impression that you've left on the people that know nothing of you, at least on
And
this end.
I honestly feel the same way, YB, because it was, y'all know I got a heart. Contrary to popular belief, it does not fit in a jar on my table, okay? It's in him. And I just was like, as we started to edit with our Dario, Josh and Dario, as we started to edit, I was like, well, girl, do we need to try and cut this? And do we need to bring him back in for Green to try to save himself? He's like, no, let him, no.
I mean, if he
And I
said
said,
he
okay,
said,
Yeah.
Reason
my hands
behind
are up.
I'm L3027. I'm Elton too. But
Hey,
I'm glad you came on. When I watched this season, well, the first 2 episodes, and going back and watching um the second season of Chasing Dallas. When is your birthday? Let me ask you that first.
November 14th.
He's a Scorpio.
Well, you're a
Scorpio.
Scorpio. Okay. One of my children is a Scorpio. And my advice for you is like him, people gravitate toward you and you make fast friends. And what ends up happening is when you make fast friends, you are good friends. Some people say love hard, or some people say that you really, you really go hard for people that you care about. The problem with that is everybody's not really a friend. You may be showing friend-like traits to them. They're only giving you associate level, you know, type traits. And so what ends up happening, and this is something that I had to tell my child about, you have to pick and choose that inner circle that truly are your friends. You could be nice, be cordial, smile, say, hey, girl, hey, and keep it moving. But those are not your friends because people are going to try to keep finding ways to get close to you, get next to you for their own ulterior and, selfish motive. And knowing that even though on the outside people say that you don't have a heart, but when they get close to you, they really do. Oh, he is opening. Oh, he is open and inviting to me. Oh, and people like to take advantage of that. So I say sometimes you do have to put up walls and get and decide, and you have to make the conscious decision of who's going to be this inner circle that are reciprocating the level of friendship that I am putting off. Otherwise, the troglodytes of the world, like the Eric Jays and some of the other people that wear wigs and stuff and that fake to be tattoo artists, are going to come around and continue to try to do harm, at your behest. And I don't think that that's fair to you or anyone when you giving out good stuff and you getting back fuck shit and fuckery because these people truly aren't your friend when you are a friend to them.
Yeah.
And I would say to build on that, moving to Dallas has taught me that the hard way. But I have to say that going through it with Tonio, going through it with Aubrey, because I always equate my best friend Milan. We've been friends since I was 19. I was 18. He was 19, and we're both 30 and 31 now. So I always try to equate and think that they're going to be the same level of friend, which is not the truth. But I've noticed that finding good friends is all about, you have to vet them. I will say that I have made some horrible decisions with choosing friends, especially with I would say Premier, horrible decision. I would say with Markel, bad decision. I would say Ariel, good decision. Very good. Dior, growing to be good. Trey Howard, growing to be good.
Hey,
Only
girl.
because I think that these people are outside of the glamour, outside of the, ooh, girl, let's go have a drink. It's like y'all, they genuinely, unless they playing, I don't think they are though. Especially not Ariel. I know she's not, and I don't think that Dior or Trey Howard are either. But it's kind of like, it's a difference between checking up on me and then following up with a team submission, than checking up on me and then saying, "Girl, I just dropped this pizza on the floor, girl. Now I'm hungry, girl. You want to go get something to eat?" You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's
Also, the
like
thing
that.
about it is too, sometimes, and this is not to negate other people, but sometimes somebody who's a good friend with someone else may not be destined to be your friend, or it might not be a good fit for you. Like that person and someone else may be great friends, but you be like, "Ooh, I want to, be friends with them," or "Let me try and be friends with them because them and this other person are great friends." And then you try to, and it just doesn't fit. And it
Mm-hmm.
doesn't mean the other person is a bad person. That just means it's probably just not designed for y'all to have that same closeness or friendship as the other people do.
I agree.
Oftentimes I find those moments like really educational for self because you can have a
Hmm.
bad friend for years and not realize it until you finally are waking up to that moment. Like, oh shit, this person is not for me, or this person has shown trifling behavior, and we just over again we accept them regardless until we finally wake up. It's all
Yeah.
a big experience. It all creates who we're supposed to become. So even if I've had a shitty experience with a person who wasn't destined to be my friend, I still look at them as like, I learn something from you? If I did, then at least that bad experience was worth it.
Yeah.
Yeah. And
Sometimes
I
it
think
takes finding a good
that
friend to realize that what you had was bad friends.
Yes.
and I don't necessarily, I mean, I believe that words are things, but they would just, I have to elaborate and just, you know, sometimes tell people, now we weren't friends. You put it out there that we was friends, but we wasn't. All we did was
Yeah.
go out and have drinks together. And I actually said that to someone that was trying to take me down on season 3. And I was just like, let's be real. Like, can we have a conversation? Like, let's be real. We
Yeah.
were not really friends like that. Like, if I was going through something, a true mark of a friend is if you are going through something, they gonna say to you, "It's all right, friend." And if you really having a tough time, they're gonna say, "Okay, bitch, you need me to come over."
Our
That.
problem too. I'm sorry. Our problem too is we use the term friend so loosely. And it's like, remember back in the day where it took a lot for someone to even get access to that kind of circle, to be in your space, your presence. Now everyone, oh, that's my friend girl. You just met the bitch 6 months ago. Or, I understand there's such thing as kindred spirits, but that will show within itself. You will never have to question that particular relationship. But if you're meeting a bitch within a year or two or whatever, and you have to constantly struggle and strife in this relationship, it's too much too soon, and I don't think it's ever really too much worth it, to be honest with
you. Yeah.
Or when you're a popping girl in the city too. When it's beneficial. Like, I mean, if it's convenient to be a friend with someone, I believe that a lot of people do it nowadays. I believe that a lot of people take that moment, you know what I'm saying, to do those things. And hey, that's what it is. But I definitely had to bump my head and learn the
Speaking
hard
of
way from these
friends,
girls.
speaking of friends, did you bring your friend Wide Hips back for season 3?
Who?
What's the boy name? Childbearing Hips.
He needs Trey Womack.
We had a
No, not
whole we didn't
Womack.
already had a whole conversation.
you.
Not Trey Womack.
He's talking about Antonio.
And thank you, God, I couldn't think of that woman's name.
Antonio, who?
The one who can't
Why
answer
is-
the questions.
I'll be really honest with y'all. I haven't seen Antonio in person since the Last Supper.
Oh,
I don't know what he is.
Antonio.
Antonio Wide Hips.
I know you're talking about.
Hopefully you gave him
It really did take me a second.
It's really not that the hips are wide, it's that the pants were little.
No, that woman got childbearing hips. No, I can tell that those were hips, honey. That woman done dropped 4 kids.
We know after that night, someone had to take home that CC's pizza and party pack from Taco Bell girl. Someone had to finish it.
And that rotisserie chicken.
No, that's Trey Howard, D Hill. Trey Howard is the one that had the blue hair. Trey Howard is on the retreat. He's the one with the blue hair. Yeah, that's Trey Howard.
Yeah, Trey Howard is blue hair.
Trey Womack is mini hair.
I was gonna say, because it may be blue depending on his mood. It may be blue depending on the mood. So
Trey Howard was in my comment section this week. I'm sorry, Trey Howard. Trey Howard, these first 2 episodes, I'm telling y'all, has gotten on my last good nerve. These first 2 episodes of this, I don't know why he has worked. I'd be like, Trey Howard, please come. He be too extreme in his emotions for me. So I'd be like,
he's young.
I felt like at the ball he was on substances because that was the only reason I could explain.
He was doing a lot at the ball. He was doing a lot at the ball.
And it felt real substancey, like pee on his stick. Because what do you want? Because it was too much.
The ball, I'm gonna tell you what it was at the ball. I mean, I think that for Trey is down for whoever he's down for, and so when you have this new person kind of coming into play, it's like, where do you get off doing all this? And so it was kind of like, let me get the tea of it, and then see what's what.
I didn't get that. I didn't get that from, and maybe it was the editing, but I got from Trey Howard. He didn't give Eric James that much smoke when Eric James said it. He kind of did the whole, he did say you don't know him, but it wasn't like, wait a minute, this is my friend, I ain't gonna have you over here. It was kind of like a laugh it off a little bit. You don't really know him like that, laugh it off. Then when he carried the bone over to Robert, he had all of the, smoke behind it and everything. And to me, and this is just me, I don't want friends like that. I'd rather my friend, when they over there with so-and-so, go in and let have. And then when they come to me, say, bruh, I had to go in and let have on so-and-so, you need to be going over there too. But what it seems like is, it was like, if somebody who I don't know, I ain't never spoke to, I ain't never talked to, is saying something about me, I'm really not going to care. I'm really gonna be on something. I don't really know them like that. I don't really care. And if you coming to me bringing this extra drama to get me riled up, so I can go over there and make for good television and start windmilling, that's kind of I don't. And it might, like I said, it might have been edited, but it seemed like he was going over there. He said it in his confessional with the intention of trying to get Robert to, blow up and have this big moment. And my friends, I don't need you coming over here just to try to amp me up or hype me up to have a big moment. Because that's just, I'm at an event that I'm trying to, host or I think he was walking the ball or whatever. And you got to know time and place. And maybe afterward, the next day, be like, girl, I ain't want to bother you that day. Last night, 'cause I knew you had a lot going on. But mama had a lot to say. You need to check. I don't know. It just.
I mean, I was a little surprised he brought it up in that moment, but I think that it's a kiki. I mean, of course, you just.
I think he knew
Yeah.
I think he knew who he was dealing with too, because Robert was like, "Who?" Like Robert just like paid it in that moment. It wasn't until Eric started going deeper and going further that he was like, "Okay, now, bitch, now I'm gonna reach out and touch you." The initial comment, I don't think the initial comment moved him.
But no, I
don't think the comment was a big deal. I really think
wasn't. I don't think the comment was a big deal.
I really think this was something that was blown up because let's be clear. Okay. I don't, Eric James, whatever. But let's be clear. What he said really wasn't that big of a deal. I think the fact that he said it around a bunch of Robert's friends. But if y'all didn't know Robert and y'all was just sitting around having
the same thing.
I think you know what? I think what happened was y'all, because I agree with y'all wholeheartedly. I think given the situation and the energy that we can't feel through the camera, I think it was a tone or something that was behind it that made the girls go, "Okay, what's going on?" Plus, we don't know how these girls. We don't know how these girls know each other. If you know Dior, then you should know that that's his brother. You should know that. Which means you should know that Howard is his son and that Ariel is his sister. So why are you even saying this in their presence? If that's how you feel.
I think it got legs.
It's the same thing of saying like, "Oh, the Justice League is just they just do reviews on YouTube, girl." It's like that tone is offensive because this is something that y'all consistently do together to build a following. Like this is y'all's judge. This is a thing. Versus saying, "Oh, Justice League, they're reviewers on YouTube. They do interviews on YouTube," and then it's like. For Eric, it was I tried to give him a bone, but then he was just trying to build on it. And it was the way that he was doing it.
Right.
It was like now if I was to say about you, Eric, oh girl, he just do wholesale candles.
Because in my mind, when y'all said he sold candles, I was like, girl, sell candles, girl, what? Get a job.
Exactly. Or you could be like, my bitch sell candles, bitch.
Yeah, you could really. What happened with Eric James is classic. It's a sickness called. I was trying to be funny, but the bitch can't read, and I think that's the problem. I think that shock and awe because when you don't know how to read, when he's like, in my 26 years, well, if we want to be, scientific, 26 years, well, we don't.
Not a long time.
We can't acknowledge images and certain.
No, but that read backfired
when he said, "Oh, I've never seen a nail tech with goals before." Like that was
but
so.
I really feel like.
But 26 backfired on him.
I don't feel like it grew legs until after everybody else, because it like really be said in its beginning, it wasn't that bad of a read. Right. When people said, "Wait a minute," and started bringing it up and saying that it was bad, I think he ran with that to have a moment on camera. Oh, that came off shady. Oh, well, let me feed into it. And right. I think that's in the after that. That's when he started to add more to it, and
he thought it was going to be a key
And let's be clear, I understand why it was offensive. Don't get me wrong, but what I'm saying is, like I said in my review, he made the mistake of saying it around the wrong people. Mm-hmm. You know what? You understand what I'm saying? And so you said it around, Trey Howard and Ariel, who they're family with this man. And so, of course, it's going to hit different than if Eric was just sitting, if he was just sitting around a bunch of friends that didn't know Robert. And he was like, Y'all, I came across a nail tech with gold teeth, and it would have been just a joke. It would have went on, but like you said,
Right.
he tried to turn it into something, and it was one of those things
Mhm.
where he said it and not realizing who he was with. I understand why it was offensive. I'm just saying, I feel like in the
Mhm.
moment, I was just like, oh boy, you know what I mean? And again, I think also you add the other things that people were seeing, it probably made it a bigger deal as well. Because, like you said, the way he did it, he was trying to blow it
Mhm.
up. And my whole 20
Yeah.
cents, boy, go sit down.
Right. And then the liquor wasn't helping the situation either. Everybody was sipping on something, so everybody was feeling lovely, you know. So it's like, oh girl, what you mean? You
Now,
know, like it was a little heightened.
Right.
Reese, let
And
me
I was
ask you
with
a
and I was
question.
with Trey Howard. Well, go tell him. He right
But
there.
let me ask you a question, Reese.
I'm still with Ariel.
Like
Let's
this.
call him. Let's call him.
With Eric, I know you said he's from Florida, and I know he said he was from Tallahassee. Did he go to school in Tallahassee, or is he originally born and raised in Tallahassee? Because you know you have family in Florida State in Tallahassee. I don't know if he went to school in Tallahassee and is from somewhere else in Florida, or is he from Tallahassee? Because I need to do some reconnaissance. You know, I went to school in Tallahassee as well. I'm from Florida as well. I could do some reconnaissance to
El
find out
Teddy,
who.
ain't nobody gonna know him that know you. You old as
Lord.
hell.
Reese, no, no,
Absolutely.
Wait a minute. The slander.
Actually,
Abby.
actually,
Abby,
to my
don't worry, I
knowledge,
got really be, really
to
be,
my
really.
knowledge, allegedly, I have to put allegedly because I haven't gotten it to my ears,
I got you, bitch. I got you.
but he went to he went to school. He's from Florida, yes. He went to school in Florida, and he actually knows Troy from Chasing Atlanta, and they went to
Troy
the
went,
same college.
Troy
Oh,
went to FAM.
Hmm?
allegedly.
Troy went to FAM, to
So then he
FAMU.
went to
So I don't
family.
know. I don't know if it was allegedly. I don't know if it was college. I don't know if it was high school, middle school, elementary, primary. I don't know which one, but
They
at
He said
some
probably
point
they
graduated.
went to school. I don't know what school it
they
was.
went to,
They
they went to
probably
school together.
graduated from the school of voguing.
Don't worry, that's all you have to tell me. I'll do some reconnaissance. I'll get that information.
And
I'll put it
definitely
in the, I'll
and let
put
me
it in
know,
the
child,
chat.
and let me know because from what I'm hearing, Eric was being messy and trying to talk to a
Oh,
guy that Troy was dating at the time, allegedly. Yeah.
Mm.
Don't worry, I'll get down to the bottom of it. I'll have that information for y'all.
To the bottom of it.
hmm and I do want to say that we all understood at the table that it really wasn't a big deal. You get what I'm saying? It
right,
wasn't a
right.
big deal to say the nail tech with the grill. But what we was trying to, well, or at least what I was trying to get him to understand, and I could speak for Eric. Well, I don't want to speak for Ariel, but I think that we all understood. Like, okay, girl, we get what you were saying, but it's just when you say stuff
It's
like that, it could
it's
come off this way. So don't say that. And then what he should have did was ate it and was like, you know what? I see how that can come out the wrong way. My bad, y'all.
That's what he
Let's
should
finish
have done.
the
Right,
rice.
Yeah,
right. That's all he had
kind
to do.
but
of,
he
he wanted
doubled
to
but he
blame.
kept doubling down on it.
Mhm.
Is what the issue
And
is.
then he turned it on Reese. Reese, I can't believe you.
I can't believe you, Reese.
Re-
How dare you not take up for him?
Reese, let me say this to you, Reese. I said this in my review, and I don't know if anybody else feel this way. I do feel like for both Eric and Dre Simber, there's a little bit of hazing going on in the fact that these two people are both new to the show and new to the city. And because some of the things that people are coming down on them for doing, everybody on the show has done and probably still is doing. And so I was like, and so in my mind, I'm like, y'all really coming at them for talking about somebody who's not there when everybody on the show is talking about somebody who's not there.
hmm
And different things like that. And I know that comes with the territory. When you knew, girl, you got to, be able
Yeah.
to paint
Well,
and
I,
take a
I
few
don't
jabs
know.
and jabs
I
back.
don't know
So I
so
do know
much.
that comes with the territory. Because that happened to Trey Howard last year. Last season,
And I will
the
say Trey Howard did
Trey
come on the
Howard the
platform.
business.
Trey Howard did come on the platform and say he would have rathered it be a group of people he already knew. Because in a retreat format, you want to let your hair down and retreat, reconnect, and tie up some loose ends.
I think for me, I mean, I don't necessarily think it's like a hazing situation, but it's just like, Dre Simber and Trey Howard already had this tension prior to the retreat. And then it's like, I've known Dre Simber over the years through social media and all of that. So we was cool. And then now, because he's in Dallas, we're building more of a friendship because we're working together. And then with Eric, it was like, I can just say with anybody coming in, whenever you're filming, like, say, a full season or something, where you can do like a follow-up scene, y'all can address the issue with whomever you just talked about, because you always got one mess in the bunch that's gonna say, well, girl, you just said such and such about so-and-so. But then when it comes down to like Dre Simber and Eric, I believe Dre Simber, and I don't care if it come up playing size or not, because I don't really like that bitch Eric anyway. But because she's just stupid. But when it came down to Dre Simber, unlike Eric, Dre Simber ate his part and apologize for the wrong that he played in a situation. With Eric, it's kind of like you just enjoying being the villain in essence. Like you're just okay with it. And it's like, girl, well, you just now starting to come around with us. You starting to be messy, and then the mess that you're starting starts with you, and it's not a misunderstanding. It's like you're like literally starting shit.
Exactly.
Yeah, I did say that in my review that like this is really spinning out of control because of you being the center. Like everything kind of comes from you and goes in different directions.
I know
And
y'all already mentioned this, but I just want to put on the record, I lost a lot of brain cells and my IQ score went down about a good 50 points listening to Dre Simber try to tell me how a service is not a job or a profession.
oh no, we didn't talk about that.
I lost a lot of IQ score point, and a lot of brain cells oozed out of my eardrums because that didn't make a whole lot. Although I don't think Eric have a job anywhere in America selling these good candles. That I will say that I will say. But that notwithstanding, a service, providing a service, and that's a career and a profession. I'm just saying.
Listen. In the words of Auntie Abby, listen.
What do you have to look forward to, Ressie? I know you can't give us, you already gave us a little spoiler, but
does anybody actually get their block knocked off?
Listen, Ressie said he ain't doing no more fights.
And to tie on to that, do you feel like you got what you wanted out of?
I was just about to say, was healing achieved for anybody throughout this entire
y'all want to know about healing? Okay.
It's called the retreat.
Don't give a damn. I just want to know if somebody get popped in their mouth.
In the confessional closet, did anybody get bust down?
Listen, we didn't ask them 3 questions. Can we do one at a time?
Okay, so I can address all 3. Yes, there was some healing. Y'all see that. Was there any physical fighting? No, we didn't get into it. Who found? We didn't get into any physical fighting. No.
And
the bust down. I will say that Eric tried to have sex with everybody.
Like everybody?
Wait a damn.
Even Ariel? Oh,
how you gonna talk about
everybody? I said everybody.
Oh, that's so disgusting.
I said everybody on purpose, El Teddy. That's why I said everybody. Eric said everybody.
Go ahead,
Eric made sure that it was obvious that he was available and ready to have sex with anybody. He touched a few people. He sat on some laps. He made sure that he wore his smallest panties.
Well, he wore that in his confessional.
Okay, wait, pause, because this is how lies get told. He did not say that boy fucked everybody. He said he tried. See how lies get told?
Daddy is not gonna like this at all.
It's not what he said.
let me refine that. He made himself obviously available for sex from any person,
Got you.
including
I'm making
production
myself
So ready
on the
for
Include
retreat.
you,
production.
and I am
I ain't mad
available.
at it. I'm making myself obviously available for
Because
sex
you're a
from
whore. Because
Storage
I
is completely empty, and he was completely available. Oh no.
I can't.
I'm a whole ass whore.
Oh.
okay. Well,
I'm the resident whore of the Justice League.
he
Mm,
is.
Baby, you got to
mm,
use punctuation because that's a statement if there's no question mark.
Wait, what?
Oh no, I'm talking
What
to
am I
Mr.
missing in the
I'm talking to
comments?
Mr. Hill in the comments. He was asking because he said he didn't hear Reese clearly. That's not a. They put a question mark on it because otherwise it's a statement, love.
exactly. Like
What was the comment?
Scotty not gonna be happy about this because you know Scotty won't. Ooh.
You ain't have to do that.
You ain't had to put Scotty out there like that.
Sorry.
So Reese, so we clearly see, I saw in this episode that there is okay, so two questions. One, how many episodes of the retreat are there? And two, I saw that it looks like that there's some springboard into Chasing Dallas, like talking about the pop-up shop. That's clearly a scene from Chasing Dallas that he wanted to be filmed. So one, how many episodes of this, and two, what are we looking at with Chasing Dallas? Like, do y'all have a premiere date? How much of this is going to sort of carry over into the Chasing Dallas? I know y'all are filming, but do you know any of that you can share?
And will we get a reunion? 2 questions.
So we are not having a very long season for the retreat. It's going to be ending sooner than you guys think, unfortunately. But it will be complete. You will have a complete idea.
Okay.
For
Long
sure.
as it's complete, I'm okay.
Yeah, you're gonna definitely have a complete idea of the retreat. You're gonna have a beginning, middle, and end. Reunion. We are working on a reunion.
For the
And
retreat?
it has yes. We have not finalized everything yet, or as who will be hosting it, but y'all know who we love the most. So we may be bringing Imani to do a reunion. And yes, this is definitely on the back end. I don't like to recast, so I had told everybody from season 2 they were coming back for season 3, but then Kane moved away, and Trey Womack is not a good fit
You still
right
looking for a
now.
job?
Huh?
Girl,
I didn't say a word
I ain't say
about
nothing.
that young man.
I didn't say a word. Where's
I
my
didn't even
legend?
say it.
Go
Well,
ahead.
he had asked if
Don't
Kane
even
still.
repeat it. Don't even repeat it. Just go on, Reese, what you were saying, please. It's El Teddy. We just ignore him. Just go on.
Listen,
But yes,
Uh-huh.
definitely. It was kind of like a springboard to season 3 because it was like if these people mesh well with the group and they're given to the group, why not bring them on into the fold? And as of now, I will say that the same people that you saw on the retreat have been filming for season 3, and
Okay.
Yes.
Is the Robert
all
guy
this
in season 3?
you will see Robert season 3. You
Is
will
he a
amen.
cast
see.
member or is he a friend of the cast or friend of the show?
It don't
You
matter.
will see Robert season 3.
Cat.
You will see Robert season 3. You will see Eric James season 3. You will see Dre Simber season 3.
Okay.
So, I will say tune in to see where the cards may fall, where they may lay. But one of those people we did offer a contract to be an ACAST member, but they actually declined.
Oh.
So,
Hmm.
and we
Also
still
want
have it.
I also want to bring this up because I want this to be stamped in the history and time over here at the Justice League. Hello, God. I said this a while back in a live that y'all were doing before the retreat was even announced. I think it would be a lovely idea within like a year or two, depending on where your franchises fall, Chasing Reality All Stars.
Me and
Boy,
Ontario
that work,
actually
the work they
had
don't.
so I will say this exclusive. So we've been working, right?
Okay.
And so
Mhm.
I am and have been working on a new city to bring to the franchise.
Okay.
We are
Whatever happened with Chasing LA?
Chasing LA is currently filming and still and still, it's coming. Shout out to Q. He's the EP over there. Whenever he calls and needs some advice or whatnot, I give it to him best way I can. But I am spearheading a new city, and we are, I would say, 90% complete. So stay
All right.
tuned for that.
Is
I'm
it a
guessing
city
you won't
near
tell
me?
the city. I'm guessing you
Huh?
won't tell us.
Was it a city near me? I'm gonna try and guess. Is it a city near
Where
me?
you at, Abby?
I'm in North Carolina. Is it a city near me?
It's not near you. Not
Damn.
near you.
What about Florida?
So when you do Chase in Charlotte, let me know because I would like to host a reunion. It's
What,
gonna
what,
and it's gonna be a
what,
free
It's
for
in the
all. Be
Midwest. It's a
advised.
city in the Midwest. It's a city in the
Midwest.
Midwest.
What about Chicago?
St.
Ooh,
Louis.
Child, they ain't trying to get shot. Child, you blanking.
look at his
it's
face!
not that bad. I hate that people say that about Chicago. It's
Look
really not.
at his face!
Right. Okay. Read the room, people.
Read the room! Okay. Say no more.
Moving
Say no more.
on. Moving on.
Child, nobody wants to
And then
chase New York.
we're bringing a game show to the channel potentially. Um, we're bringing possibly a cooking show to the channel. We're possibly bringing a talk
Ooh.
show to the channel. And then me and Dario were talking today about doing a retreat that's going to be, it's doing well. It's doing better than
Yeah, the numbers look really good.
the numbers are good. The reception is great, and it's doing
Yeah.
better than I was going to say this.
Did you watch that? What did you think about that? I was really going to get messy and ask you what you thought about that show.
What show?
Lovers and Friends.
Tell me again.
I will tell you this.
Y'all are
Lovers
not
and
playing
Friends.
nice today.
Lovers and Friends is a fantastic idea.
Not doing this.
Lovers and Friends is a beautiful concept.
Mhm.
You better
And
be
you're
corporate in
welcome.
your response. You better come on here and be professional. Listen.
I would agree.
Okay, so I do want to
No,
address.
y'all missed it. Y'all missed
No, I
it.
didn't miss nothing.
We caught it, but
we
we bless the Lord.
didn't miss none of it. I got it.
We caught all of it. We caught it. We caught it.
We got that. We caught it.
We got it.
We caught it.
Ressie,
Yes.
I think that the resilient guy, I think he should have his own show about the astrology and stuff. Because for me, when I watched the retreat, I love the things that he says about the astrology and the different things, the insight that he gives
You
about
just
people.
want him to line your chakras. That's all.
I don't. He's not my type at all. Not even slightly. He could not knock on my door at all. But
You can knock on mine, honey.
I'm about to
Baby.
say.
yeah, he's not.
He put damn sure can knock on Dre Simbas. Look at him.
Yeah, he can't. I'm not really.
Not his throat.
He's out of my weight class. He's out of my weight
Listen,
class.
Somebody
So-
asked me why not New York. Can we get some places that are not like the normal?
Yeah, do
Like they're
something
always doing
different.
something in New
Yeah.
York, something in Atlanta, something in Miami.
Yeah, can we chase Little Rock, Arkansas?
No, we're
Thank
not
you.
chasing Arkansas.
I don't know what
And
there
then-
is to
and then-
chase
so
in Little Rock.
let me say
But
this. Let me say this.
like, can we chase? Go to Seattle.
Now
Go
you
to
can go to Pine Bluff.
There
You can
are
go to
always
Pine Bluff.
people.
Yeah.
There are always people coming at us saying, "Hey, y'all should do this city. Hey, y'all should do that city. Hey, y'all should do this city." And we respond and say, "Okay, well, I don't live in that city, and Dario doesn't live in that city. So who is going to head up that city as an EP? Because we do need somebody on the ground to do that work, and then we'll come in as a co." I have a co EP for the new city that we're doing. And so because they live there, and then I've been flying back and forth to make sure that everything is good. But then on top of that, all this to fund these shows come out of our pocket. So
Yeah,
the
right,
point,
right.
we working 9 to 5s. Yes, we got the shows and the numbers, but we got to continue to build so that one day Dario cannot have to clock in, so then I cannot have to clock in. But we would love to do all these different cities that you don't necessarily see with the light
I
shine
love
on them. But
DC.
I mean, oh my God,
Yeah, I remember.
I really, 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 really want to do Reno so bad. Like I would love to do a chase
You want
in
to do what so
Reno.
bad?
Reno.
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 Oh, Reno. Oh, Reno. Okay.
I
I don't
want to
know
do
if you
a
remember,
chase in
Reese, but
Reno.
you and I had a conversation about Houston before.
And like even with doing Houston, it just didn't feel good. It didn't feel good to do
Mhm.
Houston. And then it was like the people that I had reached out to, they started being petty and started, working with other people. So I was like, go ahead, y'all can have it. I mean, I'm fine because it started out with, oh yeah, you need to do Houston, fuck Dallas. And then it's like, no, Dallas is it. Dallas is
Yeah,
one
Dallas
of
is
those
popping. Dallas is
destination
popping.
cities. And so, but it's like it's not easy to have to go to these places and all of that. And it's like Houston would have been easy to do because it's just right down the street, but it just wasn't a good fit. But it's all about patience and timing.
And I also think one city per state. Even though I live in Houston, one city per state. We got Dallas, Atlanta has Georgia. We could do another state.
hmm
Georgia. Yeah. I mean, if you come
Unless they're
my way,
polar opposites, kind of like how
Yeah,
they have Real Housewives of Beverly Hills and then Real Housewives of Orange County. Like those
yeah.
two cities are like totally
Done.
Oh,
different.
Right.
well, if you
mhm.
come my way, Reese, I'll work on production. If y'all come my way,
I
I'll work
think
on production.
DC will be a great
Yes.
I'm
call.
serious. I'm so serious. I'm so serious.
I believe too.
All right.
I'm here for it.
hmm hmm
Have you
And
been
it's a
talking to anybody
team.
in Reno to kickstart that?
Okay.
Talking to who?
In Reno, have you been talking to anybody?
No, Reno is expensive, so it's not time for Reno right now. And I
Oh, Reno is
do,
expensive. I didn't know that.
yeah, yeah. I
Well,
mean,
the West
I
in
would
general
say,
is expensive. Even Vegas is expensive. Like, ugh,
hmm
girl.
and
Okay.
so like right now, I think that our plates are good and we eating because I have a lot of things I want to do. Like right now, I'm finna go into development for a show based around ballroom. I'm from ballroom, so I want to
Ooh.
kind of do something with ballroom. I want to do something for the showgirls, like Ariel. She's a showgirl through and through, so I wouldn't mind doing something like that. I want to do scripted. I would love to do a scripted movie or series because now I feel like my best friend want 100,000 subscribers for her channel, so I'm trying to get for you know. And then on top of that, I think I've gotten to a sweet spot with doing these shows. And so because we had a show that didn't perform well, we do have to take up the battle of filling in where that didn't happen. And thank goodness for the overwhelming support for the retreat because now, because it's done so well, we are having the conversations of making the retreat its own entity and
Right.
continuing to do it. Maybe we'll do Atlanta and then we'll do Dallas, Dallas, Atlanta, and LA, and then maybe we'll branch out and start doing families. And you never
Well,
know.
that's the trend with COVID. I mean, I know you've seen it with COVID. That's been the trend in reality TV, basketball wise.
hmm
Doing it now. Housewives is having a spinoff where they just gonna have like the all stars in one house. That has been that has sort of been the trend. You got Family Affair, with Love and Hip Hop. So because of COVID, and you everybody gets tested, and they just stay in one place, and they just create situations. So
Yeah.
that's actually the trend.
It's
Actually.
beautiful to know that we're on trend, but I was thinking to myself, like, y'all must be watching us. Y'all got the money to do it in like 2 weeks because something ain't right.
No, I think some people, just like with people in music, I think the people that have it, y'all minds are just on the same wavelength a lot of times. Like
Yeah.
Mhm.
creators, that means that what you said holds some validity. Like you're good at this. This is what you're supposed to do. The fact that you came up with this idea and all of the big networks were thinking the same thing at the same time as you.
Right.
And
Now
I
I will
agree.
say that
I agree. Beliefs
um
and the Real Hot Boys of Houston, DC would be hot
Yes.
I think DC would be good
Call
because
me.
And I
DC has
live
a
for the Real
different.
Hot Boys of Houston, which is another reason why I was like, at the beginning of them, I tried my best to give as much advice. Somebody had asked me, and I gave as much advice, and I'm like, y'all do it up in Houston, so that way I ain't got to come down there and do nothing. So I mean,
Mm-hmm.
there's enough room to eat, and I live for what they're doing. You know what I'm saying? I support everybody that's doing something as long as you don't cross me. But I live for what they're doing. And then
Everybody
it's
can
like
eat. Everybody can eat.
everybody
Yeah,
can eat. And then
absolutely.
like, for some of these bum bitches on Chasing Dallas to say that I stole the idea for the retreat from somebody in Houston with no receipts, that's where problems
Where's the
come into play.
allegedly sign? Where's the allegedly?
No, somebody
Oh,
no, I can confirm that somebody did say that. That somebody did say that. And I can confirm from me to y'all that I did not steal the idea because literally as we started editing, new things came about. So how can I steal an idea that is still in its development stages?
right.
But my so-called friends are the ones that said it. So,
Hmm.
keep your
Yeah.
enemies close and your friends closer, but make sure that they don't eat at the same table as you. It's how I'm
Hmm.
looking at this entire season 3.
You better
Because,
put that word out there.
and the gag of it all is one girl, we were just drinking buddies, whatever. But then another girl who I was actually close with just said this again a week ago.
Mm.
And then she's so
See,
stupid that she actually said that the show was supposed to be the title of another show that is in development. But girl, you're so dumb that it's always gonna come back to me, the information. So I would never ever again be friends with one of your favorites.
Hmm.
Oh boy.
And it seems that way. There's a lot of I've noticed even in content creating as well as just being YouTubers, and I get your platforms are much larger, but there is a lot of biting I've noticed going on with creators, and it's just like I don't ever want to say that someone is a liar because we all can be inspired and have these little small things that may reflect and look similar to an idea someone has. But the more you start reading into it, the more you're like, bitch,
What's
you
going
got
on?
that for me. You got that.
Unless
Hold on one second, because I'm going to make an apparent reason. You got that from me, bitch.
That's a gap. Oh Lord, there we go.
the thing about it is if there's a situation where there is a full idea that I have, let's just say I have the idea, the full at beginning, middle to end to the idiosyncrasies or the intricate parts of that show, and then me and El Teddy was supposed to work on it together, and then all of a sudden El Teddy continues to do the show without me. Is that stealing or what is that?
One person moved on with the idea.
You said what?
One person just moved on with the idea.
Hmm.
If y'all both shared the
So
idea and one person decided to drop out, it's not your obligation to say, well, then this dream is just going west.
now what if a person didn't drop out though?
They were
Then
they
you
were
just
both still in. Oh, they
then
never
then you
dropped out. You
simply
just went on and did it yourself.
and then you say, I created this, I did this by myself. This was solely my idea. To
Oh,
me,
that's stealing. That's stealing.
thank you. That's
That's
on the record.
that's stealing.
Oh, girl.
Ooh.
To solely take
El
something
Teddy, where
that you
you at, baby?
and say that you created.
you know what? As somebody who has things stolen from me all of the time, I just don't get bothered no more because I always do it better.
That,
So it
that
doesn't.
is true. That is true. That
I
is
do not
very
get
true.
bothered.
Nobody can do
I have
what
a lot of
you
stuff,
do.
sayings, and everything stolen from me, girl. I'll be like, okay, girl, I'm the originator, not duplicator.
Is that person in the building?
There's something to be said too, because I think as a creative, we're always trying to find ways to improve ourselves and to progress and show that within our content. So I think for the future, I think sometimes it's good that we just keep our ideas close knit And you know, because I don't ever want to assume that someone has stolen something from me. Because when it gets out into the public and the arguments start happening, and this just goes for any situation, not anyone in particular, it you don't want to look too because I feel like the poised one at the end will always win. And it will also show in what you're creating.
Listen, can I tell y'all that there's a whole show that we're having right here on this stream, y'all, and the chat is having their own show.
Okay.
That happens a lot. Like they love each other. They literally love each other. Like we are a family here. Like they literally can talk to each other.
They don't want a whole conversation about scripted series and seasons.
Yeah.
I mean, and I agree if it's like if it's a thing where okay,
Right, but I
we want to
think
do this same thing. If we want to do the same thing, that's one thing. But it's like if this is something and the way that it's done has never been seen before, that's where the problem comes into play. That's all I'm saying. So that's when the problem comes into play.
That is true.
The small things that you like, oh, that was smart. Well, yeah, bitch, it was. So it's like it's those things, like the little itty bitty pieces.
Yeah.
That's where it's kind of like, okay, bitch, well, at least it worked. But damn, bitch.
I hear you.
Yeah.
Well, before we get out of here, please, is there anything else you'd like to say? And please let us know where we can find you and support the brand.
Yes. So you can always find me on all social media outlets at Ressie G. That's RESSIEG. Twitter, Ressie G Tweet. Instagram, Ressie G. Facebook, Ressie G or Ressie Gamble or Ressie G 2. You can also subscribe to the Chase Reality YouTube channel as well as follow us on all platforms, chasing.RLTY.
I do have one question, Ressie G, before we get out. Because of the direction that these platforms are going, have you and Dario and so forth talked about perhaps having separate channels for each one of the different series? I'm just asking. Yeah, I don't know. For a lot of reasons that us YouTubers can probably think in our heads, not just the monetary portion, but just a lot of branding and a lot of other, ancillary reasons. Have you all considered or thought about that as you all start to get bigger and things like that? I don't know. I'm just
No, I believe that when we sit down together under the Chase Reality brand to develop something collectively, we being me and Ontario, we understand that hey, this is for the betterment of the Chase Reality brand, and then the separateness of it is who is the header of that. You get what I'm saying? Like for example, everybody wanted a Chase in LA. It just so happened that the cars fell the right way, and Q was moving to LA. So he was vetted by Ontario, and then boom, it came about, and it's working, you know. But when it comes down to like say a time where we would branch out, I think that it's only if you don't work with the brand anymore, then definitely branch out. But this is our Bravo, this is our logo, this is our MTV, our VH1, So I believe it's better to keep everything in house so we can collect. Because Dario believes in me, I believe in him collectively for growth. So if he get bigger, I get bigger, we get bigger together. If I ever, which I don't see it, if I was to ever to leave Chasing Reality, I would not want to do a YouTube channel or continue to do shows in that particular way, because my loyalty lies there, and I would just continue to produce, but not on YouTube. I would produce in a different way, because that's something that I seem to be good at, and I just think it would be, to me, a slap in the face to not continue to want to be at home where your home is built. And that's not a shot at anybody in particular. Just my opinion.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Have y'all talked about maybe doing your own app like the Zeus app has all of their shows particularly there, or have
Um,
y'all thought about something like that? I know.
we talked about it. We actually talked about it Friday, actually, because we were looking at something that's coming to a major network and just looking at, we was like, girl, we could have did this a bit better, girl. But it's kind of like that whole idea of paying to watch a show to me has always been kind of like, ooh, when we can make money on the back end in another way, like monetization. So if Zeus want to come to us and be like, hey, we want to make y'all an offer to lease the show like they did with the Black China show with WeTV, come on, give us the coin. But right now, I think it would be doing our viewers a disservice if we put like this stipulation of pay us $5 to watch the content. Granted, we could make money off of it, but I think it challenges us to be better producers and businessmen to think of other ways to make money. So that's when advertisements and we can do events, meet and greets, and we're thinking about possibly doing like some type of like big. I have a thought to maybe we can just do like bring all the music artists that have ever been through the Chase Reality brand and do like a big showcase live or something like that. It just takes us
A tour.
thinking, yeah, something, thinking a
Or
little bit
do
outside the box.
right, like a black version, like a black reality version of like DragCon, where everybody's together and y'all do panels and stuff like that.
Let me ask you this question too, Reese. When you all do your advertisement, is some of it for charity and stuff like that? Because I
No,
noticed.
no.
And I just didn't know charity.
With every advertisement, they're all paid advertisements.
Oh,
So
I just didn't know if it was like they have this the children charity advertisements and stuff like that. And
no, we don't get our free advertisement. We
no
definitely
charitable endeavor tax write-offs.
no.
We all got 99s to pay. So to file and stuff. So it might be a write-off.
Every advertisement, some of the music that we use, we go and find, and then some people do pay for music placement.
She clearly is not monetized, and you just pay it out your okay, girl. Go ahead.
Oh my gosh.
Bless her heart. Just listen.
Really
Bless her, God. Bless it. Bless it, Jesus.
People are not nice to
Oh
me.
no, you don't. No, you don't get to check. No, you don't get to go off screen.
Let me
No, the
say
hell
this,
you don't.
Eric James. If you want to know how to be a good villain, come talk to me. I can help you be a good villain. There's an art form to being a good villain. Come on. Because he failed.
Oh Lord.
Well, we pray that her advertising gets her to where she needs to be.
I don't even know.
It is a very smart move to want to advertise during your
with you.
show and get all those eyeballs on you. So we understand wholeheartedly the method to what she's trying to do and get accomplished. Amen. Amen.
Amen. Listen, Reese, I gotta get ready to dip, but I just, as always, thank you so much. You are definitely a supporter of all of us, and I do appreciate it. And there's always a open invitation for you to come back if there's anything else that come up and you need to clear it up or you want to address it or whatever.
Or you just want a windmill on a bitch.
Right. If you just let us know. Our platform is always available to you, Hunty. Okay. But I gotta dip. But thank you.
We all about to go, Willie Bean.
You said what?
We all about to go.
She real old cat. She got early bedtime,
I do too. I gotta see my mom in the morning. I gotta go see my mom in the morning, child.
Yeah,
I love y'all. I mean, I love y'all reviewing. I love the support that y'all give me particularly, and then the brand as a whole. It definitely does. It's definitely not. It's not in vain. I appreciate it all. Like I really do.
Absolutely. I don't know if you know this, but Chasing Dallas was the birth of the Justice League.
It is.
It really was.
The Justice League was birthed around Chasing Dallas, not just Chasing Reality, Chasing Dallas in particular.
It was Chasing Dallas. It sure was.
And we really
y'all still going strong.
Yes, we are.
Doing what we do.
I'm here for it.
And I do appreciate you and everybody on the cast and all over the franchises that have blessed our platforms, that will bless our platforms, and the ones that don't get an opportunity. The invitation is always open no matter what you hear, say. We may laugh and shade, honey, because I will always laugh when shit is funny. That does not mean I technically agree with
Right.
it.
It's no hard feelings. We love everybody.
They will be
No,
okay.
we don't. Don't do
Invitation
that.
is open
I'm
to
about to say
everyone.
they lying.
No, we
Anybody who
don't.
is mentioned in the retreat, if you would like to come through,
I
please
love
do.
Come through.
everybody.
Just know we always keep it real.
Whatever.
Hallelujah, bitch, and don't take offense.
It's
I
this.
believe that I believe y'all should definitely reach out to Eric James to be here so he can put
Mhm.
more of his foot in his mouth. I would love
Ooh.
to see it. I would relish it.
Well, we'll just tell him to light a candle so he can get his way.
Whoa,
Well, you know
whoa,
what? Tell him to light a
whoa.
candle from CVS because I get my candles from CVS now and they smell so much better. Um,
Nope. 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 Mm-mm.
We
Really?
appreciate it.
YB, give us a quote so we can get everybody here, because, girl, the shade is.
If all hearts and minds are clear,
All hearts and minds are clear. I appreciate you guys for joining us for this
May the
amazing.
Lord watch between me and thee while we're absent one from
you,
another.
come on. Now unto him that is able.
Amen. We
Come
appreciate y'all
on
for
here.
joining us for this collective interview, as we always do. Amen. Please make sure to like, comment,
Amen.
subscribe, and share. To everyone on the panel as well, make sure you're following Chasing Reality Brand. Amen. And keeping up with all the tea. This is the season. This is the reason. Amen. And y'all bitches be okay. Be blessed and never stress, guys. Bye.
Bye.